So today I'm going to be talking about our coral reefs and how they're becoming endangered. So, have you ever seen these beautiful pictures of these big, colorful areas that have like a variety of different kinds of creatures? Well, those are called coral reefs. Coral reefs were first discovered in 1770 by a guy named James Cook. They were discovered by James Cook. His ship had accidentally crashed into one, and they hadn't realized what it was until they had looked down and saw a whole bunch of different things sticking up into the water and on the boat. So, coral reefs are also a type of ecosystem, and they're also a living organism themselves. Coral reefs used to be all sorts of bright colors. They used to be seen all over the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, Caribbean Sea, the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf, along with the Arctic Ocean as well. And what is happening is that things such as climate change, pollution, and unsustainable amount of fishing is causing these coral reefs to die. So the picture that I just showed, which was this is what the coral reefs used to look like, and this is what coral reefs are turning into these days. They're losing the color, they're losing the amount of variety of animals that they have, and everything else. And basically, they're just dying. So, one aspect that is affecting these coral reefs is climate change. So, with the climate change, what it does is the coral reefs, they are able to live, some of them live in tropical areas, tropical waters, others live in cold waters. The ones that live in the tropical waters, once the water gets to a certain temperature, it stunts their growth and causes them to die because they're not used to the cold water. Same thing with the cold water coral reefs. They're not used to the hot water. So what that does is it's just causing them to die. And according to the U.S. Department of Commerce and National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, a warming ocean causes thermal stress that contributes to coral bleaching and infectious diseases. So, when the waters get warm or cold and the coral reefs aren't used to it, they can develop certain types of diseases that affect them in a very negative way. Coral bleaching is when the coral reefs, they lose the plants, animal life, and colors that they have. They turn from a pretty nice color to gray, white color. This picture was in 2006. This one was in 2010. What's happening with climate change. The next thing is pollution. So pollution can be anything. It can be throwing things into the oceans. It can be from runoff from cars. Could be acid rain from the air, from gases that we release into the atmosphere. Anything. So, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce and National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, excess nutrients results in poor water quality, leading to decreased oxygen and increased nutrients in the water, which is called heterotrichation, and this can lead to enhanced algae growth on reefs, crowding out corals and significantly degrading the ecosystem. So what it's doing is the algae is starting to build up and build up and build up, which is causing the coral reef itself to get blocked out. So it's not showing as much as it should be, which isn't good for the ecosystem because when it overcrowds the coral reefs, it decreases the amount of habitats for the fish and other creatures living in that type of ecosystem. Another thing that can result is the algae can spread diseases. Some of these diseases are called Aspergillus sodui, which has been associated with the disease in sea fans, and Sagartia maricens, which has been linked to whitepox, another coral disease. So this disease can cause fish and all the other organisms to die, which doesn't help the coral reef at all because fish and things help the coral reefs. So this is a picture of pollution. as you can see, the pollution can consist of bottles, coolers, anything that can sink or get to the bottom of the ocean and get on top of that. The last thing is the sustainable amounts of fishing. So this is where people overfish in areas where coral reefs are found, and that is taking organisms away from that natural habitat that they have been in for so long. And depletion of key reef species in many locations, such losses have a ripple effect, not just on the coral reef ecosystem themselves, but also on the local economies that depend on them. So when you take something out of its habitat, it's not just affecting that ecosystem, it affects everything around it, because it is linked by a food web and a food chain. What that means is that organisms feed off of another organism. So the coral reefs, the organisms in that ecosystem for the coral reefs, feed off the coral reefs. When those organisms are taken away, coral reefs are more prone to types of diseases and things like that, and they can get dirty, which causes algae growth, which isn't good for them. Another thing that can happen is that certain types of fishing gear can inflict serious physical damage to coral reefs, such as in the seagrass beds and other important marine habitats. So this would be like where fishermen throw their fishing nets into an area where there's a coral reef. What this is going to do is when they pull that net up, it is going to jerk and bring some of the coral reef out itself along with the organisms they were trying to catch. What this does, it damages the coral reef, kind of like somebody damaging the human body. Damaging you, it might cause something in you to be broken, like a bone to break or anything like that. It's breaking the coral reefs and breaking the habitats, which is causing fish and other types of organisms to have to find a different place to go. So this is a picture of a fishing net caught in the coral reefs. So when they bring that up, they can either, if it doesn't come up, they'll just cut it off, or what it will do is it'll rip all of this out with it, which you don't want to do. So there are many, many more factors that are causing coral reefs to become endangered along with the species, but there are ways that we can help these coral reefs. If climate change is something we kind of can't really control right now, this exact moment, but what we can do is we can stop polluting and we can stop fishing in areas that have coral reefs in them. So the question I want to leave you guys off with is, do you want to live in a future society where coral reefs are something that people could talk about in the past and about how beautiful they once used to be? Or do you want to live in a society where other people can help experience these coral reefs and help them grow into something beautiful and amazing like they once were? It's up to us to decide what we want to do, and hopefully we all choose to do the right thing.